Chat, am I mistaken in saying that Hardy, didn't he lie about having a couple of hundred amateur fights in China? Like a few hundred fights. I swear he lied about that once. Where did he lie about that? Thank you for the $2. Who would have won TRT Vitor versus 38-year-old Romero? Probably 38-year-old Romero. When did he say that? I think he did. I can't remember why, but I remember us roasting him for that because not a single one of them was recorded at all, like on any record anywhere. There's no information about it whatsoever. I think he mentioned something about going to China for a few years or something. Dan Hardy recounts time training in Shaolin Temple in China. That was it. Here you go. Shaolin Temple, China. This is a picture of him in a Shaolin temple, apparently. And it's literally just some dingy alleyway looking thing with no temple in the background. 19 years old, 13 years into my martial arts training. Practicing form. Listen to this fucking thing. Shut up, donos, for a second. Song Yudong should call out Nate Maness if he went there to GOAT, for sure, yeah. Well, I don't think he's worthy, though. Let's be real. Let me read out this post from Dan Hardy. Shaolin Temple, China. 19 years old, 13 years into my martial arts training, practicing forms with the straight sword between morning and afternoon training sessions. I wasn't there long enough for the Sifus to begin my sword training, but my determination and stubbornness was too great. I pieced this sword together out of bits of broken weapons I found on the temple grounds, bound it together with string and tape, and watched the monks practice to see what I could pick up. This is such fucking bullshit. After a few weeks of training outside of the usual 10 hours a day, my teacher finally gave in and taught me the first form. I loved it. The beauty and grace of the movement, coupled with the precision, stabbing techniques, spoke of what martial arts represents to me. Broadswords, although dramatic and powerful, weren't as clinical as inserting the point of a straight blade into vulnerable targets, piercing vital organs and stealing the life from a human. The more precise the movement, the more the refined the attack, and the deadly accuracy one would need to deliver a killing thrust speaks of a higher level of skill and mastery. In feudal Japan, samurai had the katana sword. They also had armor, which offered some protection against blades and arrows. Ninja, on the other hand, didn't have armor. So to compete with samurai, they developed the ninjato, which is a straight sword. This also required not only a good understanding of the human body and its vulnerabilities, but also the weak spots on the samurai armor. Going blade to blade with a katana, the ninjato was inferior. You couldn't slash with this blade. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? It had to be a thrust point first into the gaps in the armor to kill their adversary. This required an incredible amount of skill and a calmness to deliver the deadly strike in the heat of an exchange. People say skills pay the bills, but in their case, it was the difference between life and death. Master your weapons, master your technique, but most of all, master the application of your technique. This is where the true skill of a fighter is demonstrated. Listen to this absolute bullshit, though. Listen to this. I'm done with it now. I pieced this sword together out of bits of broken weapons I found in the temple grounds, bound it together with string and tape, and watched the monks practice to see what I can pick up. After weeks of training outside the usual 10 hours a day, such bullshit nonstop, dude. Thank you for the £2. Dan want to be ninja. Indeed, he does. All that just to have double-digit losses and never fight Diego Sanchez in boxing. Thank you for the $2. Low, he did training at Panda Express. True. True. Just tuning in now. How's the card been? The card's been pretty good, to be fair. Well, it's been okay. It's been an okay card. If you read the rest of Dan Hardy's memoirs, it turns into a dirty romance novel. Yeah. Steven Seagal autobiography mixed with Kung Fu Panda. True. Very true. I want to be ninja. Dan Hardy. Whitaker, Sergey, Piotr Volk fans are Giga Chads. True. Very true. I mean, he competed, I know, but he's just lying about the years he spent in China. Because there was another thing where he said, I can't remember what he said, but he said he was only there for a very short amount of time. P.S. Hardy must have been off shrooms in some Chinese restaurant. I watched the monks training with their broadsword. It's meanwhile just some fucking Asian chef chopping up fish in the kitchen. Imagine just being an Asian looking at Dan Hardy, just shocked at you, sitting at a fucking PF Chang's table, waiting for his orange chicken on shrooms. Look how they mastered the art of the broadsword. He's just chopping up wasabi. The craziest part about Dan Hardy's stories of him training martial arts at the age of like 6 onwards and moving to China at 19 to learn the art of martial arts from the source is that he was genuinely very mid. There was nothing special about him as a striker. Like, he had power, but like, that's it. That was like his thing as a fighter, you know? Go! Yeah! 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 Honey, calm down. You're scaring the kids again. Yeah!